Welcome back to today's episode of the Hard Truth Podcast. Today is a very special day. We have a very special episode with a very special set of women in my life. And this is going to be our Mother's Day episode. Today I'm sitting with my wife Callie, my mother-in-law Rose, my sister Gammy, and my mom Christy. So before we get started today, I just want to read a Bible verse. It's in Proverbs chapter 31, and it says, "She is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future." That's the kind of woman God celebrates, and that's the kind of woman sitting at this table today. And motherhood really does reveal parts of God that we don't always see, like His patience, His protection, and His unconditional love. And here's another question. What's the hardest season of motherhood for you, and how did God meet you in it?
I don't think there is a hardest season. Every season's hard in some way. Postpartum's hard, toddlers are hard. When your kids leave, it's going to be hard. You just have to pray and lean on God when it's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, He's always going to meet you there.
I will agree with that. However, in my situation, I feel that trying to navigate grief after losing my brother tragically in 2016, I feel like that was a very difficult time in motherhood for me because I was not doing all that I could to put my best foot forward for my children and to be the mother that they deserved in that time.
Absolutely.
So,
I was thinking the same thing because, it was, going through a hard period that I did. That was very trying. You can't stop being a mother.
Yeah, well,
you can't just put the kids aside and be like, okay, I'm going to take care of myself and get myself together. No, you
Exactly.
you can't. You don't really. You got to keep yourself together while you still take care of the kids.
That's
So
why I get mad at dads all the time.
It's
Like, I truly
Yeah.
do not know how we would have made it through without you and your family during that time, because you guys did provide a lot of emotional support for Callie, and I am forever grateful for the love that you guys provided her during that phase of our life.
Being a newer mom too, I think just a hard part is becoming a mom. Like how much your life
Such a change. Yeah. It's
I feel
like, sorry.
No, you're okay. I think your life just changes so much, and you're not expecting that at first.
Yeah. It's
So-
like grieving the life before, but then feeling bad for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and I feel, especially as a young mom, you're just trying to survive.
Yeah. Definitely. Like raising babies as a baby. I was 17 when I had my first kid, so
Yeah.
like I had no idea who I was at that point.
At least it was girls. Imagine a boy.
That's true. That's true, because the boy that I've got, he takes me there.
Talking about the young moms, I mean, it's amazing to just watch a mom become a mom, because you go from literally not knowing what to do to all of a sudden having a kid to, like, all of a sudden God just steps in, and as soon as you see Him for the first time, you know exactly what to do. Instincts take over. Psalm chapter 127 verse 3 says that children are a gift from the Lord, but mothers are also a gift to children because they shape the spiritual foundation of a home. And with that being said, what biblical values do you hope to pass down to the next generation?
I just hope that my kids know to love Jesus and put Him first in all situations. And I hope that they are never scared or ashamed to share the gospel, even though it doesn't fit into today's norm.
I feel like humility and servanthood are very important aspects that need to be shared, passed down from generation to generation.
Yeah, I hope my kids always just lead with kindness and always choose faith when times get hard. Just know that they always have that firm foundation.
and knowing that they can go to God in prayer for everything.
Hmm.
Yes, that's massive. Prayer life has changed so much for me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like whenever I was a kid, I wasn't very religious, but when I was a kid, if I knew that I could go to him in prayer, I feel like that's a weight lifted off your shoulders that you know you don't have to carry.
Yeah.
So,
Just automatic comfort.
yeah.
And isn't that every parent's dream, to have their child come to them in a time of need?
Yeah.
And just being a boy, stepping in for a minute, I don't think I would be sitting where I was at today if it wasn't from prayers coming from a mom. Because I was gone, and the whole time I was gone, she's flat out said that she was praying for me.
And look at you now.
Right, there is so much power
I
in
ain't
prayer.
nothing.
And back again.
So much power in prayer and forgiveness, I believe.
And talking about our kids, I don't think we have a problem with them walking outside of the norm.
Yeah, I'd say you're good.
You're
there.
right.
But let's shift a little bit here. There are a lot of young moms who I'm hoping will listen to this, seeing that I'm outruled by women now. And maybe they might feel overwhelmed. And what advice would you give to a new mom who feels like she's not doing enough?
As cliche as it sounds, really just lean on God in every situation. Because, I mean, I am a mom that doesn't feel like I do enough, and the feeling's never going to go away. You can do 10,000 things a day, and it doesn't matter. You just, I don't know, you just have to lean on God and pray and get over it.
And I think if you're worried about if you're doing enough, you are doing enough. If you're never going to, like she said, you're never going to feel like you do enough, no matter how much you do. But if you're putting God first and you're showing your kids that, I think that is enough.
Well, and just like we've learned this week in Bible study, trying to be less like a Martha and more like a Mary.
Mm.
Of just, sitting. Martha always thought that she wasn't doing enough, and, she always had to do so much. And then you had Mary that sat at the feet and listened and took it all in. And I think, for new moms, it's just getting them to be more like a Mary up front, and that you are good enough. Yeah. And Martha found out too that she was good enough also, but to be Mary and to take more in the moment.
And to just give a little more context there for the people who maybe don't know, Martha, when Jesus first came into the home, Martha was outraged that Mary wasn't standing up and serving alongside her. She'd come in the room and burst out basically at Mary, telling her to get up off her butt and do something. And Jesus told Martha she's doing exactly what she needs to be doing. Like, what she's doing is okay.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's okay to take a break.
Yeah.
I think that is something that is very important for young mothers. They feel like that they have to keep up with the world. Everything has to be Instagram worthy. Everything has to be perfect and pristine at all times. But really, the dishes can wait and the laundry can pile up. The main thing is that you are leading your child in the way of the Lord, and that you're loving that child where it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think comparison is sinful.
The thief of joy.
Yeah, for sure. Just comparing and seeing how much other moms do just because it's on the internet, and not putting your phone down and just living in the moment and teaching them what really matters.
Yeah, everybody wants to be seen nowadays. I heard something the other day, and it really is important as soon as it sunk in, because everybody wants to be seen, but seen in the wrong way. the most famous people on earth in the next 10 years are going to be the people who are unheard of. Because it's just a matter of time before you get noticed online. Online is a huge distraction from the evil one. And I mean, it really just kind of hit close to home because that's a fact. In the next 10 years, I mean, the most famous people on earth are going to be the people who get to keep their peace on a daily basis. And they're not worried about keeping up with the Joneses. The Joneses can't even keep up with the Joneses.
Right.
And that's why I've always told you kids, the whole entire, ever since you were little, be humble. Just to be humble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of issue in this world is that, like you said, everybody wants to be seen, but nobody wants to show the truth behind the veil.
Yeah.
Well, and even to further that, just like the question asked, what do you want to pass down? And we started talking about Mary. Everybody wants that, but nobody will take the time to sit down and listen. It's all about who could be the loudest person in the room. We've lost the quality of being able to sit down and actually soak in what somebody else is saying to us in teachable moments. It's just all about who can get the next words out the fastest.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is for who can get the most views or who can get the most likes, but nobody's going to sit down and make a video to get views and likes on how hard motherhood can be or the struggles that you can go through.
As soon as I do, someone's going to say, you hate your kid, you hate being a mom, I'll take them.
Yeah.
They'll be canceled on TikTok.
Yeah.
So moving on here, is there anything that any of you wish you knew about motherhood when you first started?
I think the best mothers are the ones that are forged in the fire, honestly. You can read 1,001 self-help books. You can read all of the what to do when you're expecting or what to expect when you're expecting. But the reality is you're never going to know how to navigate motherhood until you live in it.
And I think you find a new grace for moms once you become a mom. You're never going to fully understand until you are a mom.
And oftentimes in the mistakes that you make through motherhood, that is where most of your growth comes from. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I would have wanted to know. I can't think of anything that I would have wanted to know prior to becoming a mother.
And that's important that you say that, because motherhood, in the same way of growing your relationship with the Lord, we learn the most. The Lord teaches us the most when we're in the valleys.
Amen. Through the struggles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, that's important to say too.
I think just young moms just realizing, it would just be easier on young moms if they had the faith before becoming a mom. Because I think your walk in life is less stressful.
Absolutely. I feel like when you start your journey walking with the Lord, you start to find the blessings in the struggles.
Yeah.
And being a young mom, somebody that's never experienced it before, sometimes struggles in motherhood can seem very overwhelming and, you feel hopeless. But if you are firm in your faith and you're walking it out with the Lord, then you can see the blessings through those struggles that you're facing.
Yeah.
And then you don't get, that overwhelming feeling of dread or hopelessness or whatever.
Well, that, and I think, for us being older, that, us walking in faith now as compared to, their age, if we would have started then, like now, there's times I do think back and think, Lord.
Me too. How different things could be. And
Yes.
what a blessing it is to see our children. I mean,
Yes.
starting at a young age and growing their faith. It truly
feel
is a
like-
blessing to see each of you guys growing in your faith daily.
I feel like I can testify to that just a little bit because my last pregnancy, I didn't have much faith until towards the end of it. And I can say I had so much anxiety and I had so much weight on my shoulders because I had nowhere to go with that, as to where now, pregnant with this one, I do have faith and I have somewhere to go with my prayer and I have somewhere to take my anxiety. And I just feel like it's made it go a lot easier. So I think even if you have a little bit of faith, it's going to give you
You
some
just
kind
know
of
you're not
freedom.
in it alone.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we're all kind of fairly new into being saved, but we're a little over 2 years kind of serious about it. But this is a question that I asked my men's group, and I'll ask the same question here. It's humbling now, and it'll almost put you on your knees in tears just to be able to look backwards in your life now, and you can think and pinpoint all the times that even when you was nowhere near God, God was right there helping you through a situation.
Oh,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about marriage for a minute. So, how has motherhood changed your relationship with God and your spouse?
Motherhood started my relationship with God. I mean, after 3.5, 4 years of infertility and not having any faith, the one time that I was just hopeless and ready to give up and I didn't track anything, I got pregnant. Obviously, that's not a coincidence. Like, there's something bigger than us. So that started my relationship with God. As for my spouse, I think motherhood just gives you a new respect and a deeper love. I mean, for me, like, taking care of me postpartum and then, hey, I want you to quit your job, you're going to stay home, I'm going to provide, like, you're going to take care of our kids. I just have more respect now than I did taking everything for granted before.
Yeah, I think, marriage wise, when you're both walking in faith together, and I know I keep saying as a young couple for you guys, because what my marriage is now, walking in faith, is totally different than a marriage without faith-based. It's totally, it's totally different, because, we have the same views on faith. We pray together, just like we went on vacation. We listened to sermons for 8 hours on the way there and on the way back.
Shout out to Joey Martin.
Yes. And before that would have never happened. But now, everything we do is, through
For
faith.
God,
Yeah, and for God. Yeah. And beforehand, that was not our marriage at all. Yeah.
Well, and I can kind of attest to that because me and Dad, I was turning into Dad through building a relationship with God and keeping the Lord centered in our marriages. For us in particular, we're bullheaded. It slowed us down, and we're able to have conversations now that I would have just blew up about and wanted nothing to do with 5 years ago. But with that being said, what role does prayer play in your marriage?
I feel that prayer is paramount in every aspect of my life.
Yeah.
First and foremost, my relationship with Jesus Christ. It's non-existent without prayer. And the closer that I draw to Jesus, the better every relationship I have becomes. So, hands down, prayer is the absolute most important thing in my life.
Mm-hmm. I think with prayer, even in a marriage, or just making that
The center.
the center of your marriage and your family, you start to see things happen and things move in ways that you never saw before. Just like Clay. I'd always say, God, just give him a little extra help. We just need a little extra help here, okay? And then after that, look at him now. He's leading us all.
I'm not doing nothing.
And seriously, like, just the prayers that you pray can completely shift everything. If you shift your mindset, if you're praying that God's will be done in your life, then eventually your will is going to align with God's. And then blessings upon blessings are just going to start flowing.
Yeah.
When you feel like, okay, I'm going to pray this prayer because I want something for me, God's going to convict you. He's going to realign your heart, and you're going to find yourself praying not for what's going to benefit you in that moment, but what's going to glorify God.
Yeah.
So,
And I think prayer is what's going to keep you in connection with God. Like, it's powerful because that's going to build your relationship with God. You're not going to get closer to Him if you're never talking to Him, or if you're never asking for forgiveness or asking for the things that you need in your life, and just giving that control over.
And really just, talking to God, period. Whether you're mad, sad, happy, it's getting that mindset that you don't go to Him just in need.
Just to ask for something, yeah. I think that's what a lot of people do.
Yeah, and I think that's the one thing that definitely I have learned very much, that don't go just in need. Good things.
yes,
Yeah.
praise Him.
Thanksgiving always.
Yeah.
Yeah, be thankful for the hard times just as much as the good times.
Yeah.
And I feel that, like, it's important to note that every relationship, whether a spouse, a friend, a coworker, a peer at school, even your children, like, all relationships begin through communication. So how are you going to grow a relationship with Christ if you're not communicating with Him through prayer?
Yeah.
We're coming up on an end here, but I got one last question for you guys. And I think this is an important one to answer, because I know me personally, sitting here with you, I can come home after a long day of work and I forget about everything you just did all day long. And I want you to do stop. I want you to do something for me. I need help with something. And I just walked in the door and you're just wanting 2 minutes to take a breather. So as men, we do forget sometimes. So my question is, what is one thing you wish your family knew about the sacrifices you make as a mother on a daily basis?
For me, I would say that I wouldn't trade them for anything. The sacrifices that I have made as a mother have shaped who I am. It's shaped who my children are. And I feel like they've turned out quite all right. So,
She's okay.
yeah, a couple folks like her.
I think I think as men, you don't realize that most of the time moms don't say no.
I think we don't have an option.
Yeah.
Right.
Honestly, I feel like that moms, they just sacrifice without even realizing that they are sacrificing until they get to that point where they're depleted. And then it's like, this is like, I've sacrificed my education, my career, my this, my that. And they don't, it's not something that they recognize, because in the moment they're prioritizing their child and their well-being, their needs above everything else.
Yeah, I think
Sacrifice.
it sounds silly, but honestly, the biggest thing is mental health. Like, I'm too worried about everything else that everyone else needs all day long, every day. Like, I don't have time for myself until I'm at the end.
And I think, to make it a little more biblical, I think the sacrifices I make as a mom are so little compared to the sacrifices God made for us and Jesus made for us.
Absolutely.
So I can want to be recognized for doing the dishes and the laundry and taking the toll of the whole household. But in reality, that's so small compared to what Jesus did for us. But when we think about the sacrifice that Jesus made for us, it's just incomparable to what we do.
And with that being said, I want to thank each of you for sharing here today. Your stories, your wisdom, and your faith, they're a blessing not just to our family, but to everyone listening. And with that being said, we're all out of time for today, but just a little bit of encouragement before we go for the men. Behind closed doors, even when we don't see it, these women are our prayer warriors. They're the ones that keep us going half the time. So for Mother's Day, especially this Mother's Day, take the time to become the prayer warrior for the whole next year for your wife as well. We'll see you guys next week.
Mother's Day, Mother's Day, Mother's Day, Mother's Day, Mother's Day, Mother's Day.